My team investigator Adam Walser. A Collier County Circuit Court judge suspends a professional guardian for more than 30 cases after a clerk's auditor and a court monitor identify multiple concerns.
At best, this is mismanagement. At worst, it's something more.
Judge Elizabeth Krier addresses professional guardian Kathy Johnson and her team of more than half a dozen lawyers at a hearing last week about how Johnson cared for 34 court-appointed wards and their money.
I also am not going to allow these wards' money to be flushed down the toilet another minute.
Johnson has been a professional guardian for more than 2 decades, even though she was convicted of DUI twice and declared bankruptcy, which often disqualifies a person from the role.
Numerous complaints were made about Kathy Johnson, and again, they were all unsubstantiated, and again, nothing was done until today. Too little, and God knows too late.
The clerk of courts, which monitors guardianships, found several irregularities in Johnson's cases, including claims which the auditor disputed that her wards lost $85,000 as a result of hacker activity. Concerns that a ward's Mercedes-Benz didn't appear in an inventory, and accounting showing that a ward's account shrank by nearly $609,000 in 2 years. Johnson told auditors that records proving how money was spent were in storage. The judge gave her a week to deliver them.
All other records need to be turned over to the auditor's office. Every single piece of paper.
Judge Krier also questioned whether some of the wards should be in guardianship at all.
I want a real capacity evaluation. I'm not convinced that anybody's seen anybody in terms of these capacity evaluations.
85-year-old Bridget Manning was visiting a friend in Florida when she fell, injured her leg, and wound up in a rehab center where she was declared incapacitated. Bridget wrote 7 letters to judges complaining about Johnson, begging to get her rights back and hoping to return to her native Ireland.
My intention was to get Johnson out. She did a lot of things to a lot of people.
Johnson moved Manning to a small home care facility in rural Lehigh Acres. That facility was recently cited by the state for its staff not having proper medical training and certification.
What's it like living in this situation right here?
Bad.
Why is
Very
that?
bad. Well, I have to share a room, and it was Kathy Johnson got both of us in there.
This is the tiny room they share in the 1,400-square-foot home.
How often would Kathy Johnson check on you here?
Well, because this is a very far place from her, she didn't like to come at all.
I was employed as a registered nurse. I was working 2 jobs.
Johnson was appointed guardian for Karen Federici in 2016 after Karen inherited money and her sisters in Ohio hired a lawyer to put her in guardianship when she was 56. A court-appointed committee conducted brief mental exams.
It was a retired hospice nurse meeting me at a McDonald's. And then the other 2 individuals that was to evaluate me was a retired 80-year-old OB-GYN and a activities director at a skilled nursing facility.
Federici secretly shot a video of a conversation with Johnson.
How come you're billing me hundreds of dollars for phone calls?
Because it's what I do, Karen.
It's what you do.
That's how guardianships work.
Karen lived alone at a La Quinta Inn, but didn't have access to her money.
When I needed food, I wasn't allowed to go to the store myself and buy it. She had to drive me so she could charge her $95 an hour.
With the help of friends she met on Facebook, Karen escaped guardianship and fled to California.
I literally lived on the lam for nearly a year using burner phones and cash.
A California lawyer hired by a supporter was able to get Karen's guardianship transferred to California, then overturned, but not before she lost everything she had before the process started.
I was living in a condo and I had a car.
And it's all gone.
All gone. All my photographs, my Bibles, furniture, my pets, everything gone.
Johnson was also the guardian of Rosalie Ziegler.
There was no caring for my mother.
Her daughter Carmen says she wasn't allowed to talk to her 98-year-old mom, and when her mother died, she was informed via text message.
They would not tell me at all where she was, and they said there was not going to be any funeral. They told me she was already cremated.
Carmen and others called around to funeral homes and were able to locate Ziegler's body. Carmen flew from North Carolina to say her final goodbye, finding her mother in a cardboard box.
It's heartbreaking because they treat them like they're non-people, like they're not important. The money is what is important.
Kathy, did you take
No
proper
comment.
care of people under your care?
No comment.
There are 30-some cases here. The judge had some real.
Thank you, gentlemen, no comment.
The judge had some real concerns about your
Sir, I've
behavior
already
as a
told you no
guardianship.
comment.
Kathy Johnson, suspended from all her cases, left without saying a word, an envelope covering her face. In Naples, I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Randy Wright, Fox 4 News.